Welcome to our 2022 Sunseeker 2440 DSF. I'm going to start right inside the wall here, right in the back. So you got the storage compartment here, just opens on up. As you open that up and reach on side, you're going to find your water hose here for you. Inside of that, you're going to find this park adapter here. So your short cord's going to have a 30 amp end. That 30 amp end will plug into there, and then you can take that 15 amp end and plug into a standard household outlet. And then the storage compartment does just have a little light up here, just in its own center push button. It does see straight through to the other side as well. Right up from there, you've got your freshwater tank fill. So you just pop that cap out of there, you take a water hose, plug it into there, turn on the water, that fills up your freshwater tank. You know that tank is full once it starts spitting water out of that vent there. Down from there, you got your sewer outlet. So you're just going to open up this compartment. You get that little finger on the side there, holds it open. Right on the right side here, you got a city water connection. So that water hose will plug into there, turn on the water, and that'll pressurize the lines throughout the unit. Below that is your sewer system. So you got this cap here, you're basically going to press on that a little bit and give it a turn. It pops on out of there. And just take note of those two ears right here. Your sewer hose has the exact same two ears on it, so it'll attach the same way. You're just pressing it on, it clicks into place, and that's that. And on the left here, you get a gray valve. On the right, you get a black. So that black valve is controlling your black tank. Black tank is going to be filled from your toilets. That's, of course, going to be our dirtiest water. So when we're dumping our tanks, we're going to dump that first. Once that's done, you can then come to the gray. Gray tank is going to be filled from your sinks as well as your shower. So typically cleaner water. Dump that last to help keep that hose as clean as possible. Down on the bottom, there's also this little porthole. So you can just kind of unscrew that. And you can run the sewer hose down through there. Up from there, you've got this black tank flusher. So basically your water hose will plug into there and turn that on, and that'll just help flush out that black tank. The purpose of that would be if, typically like over time, you start getting some debris hanging inside of the tank, which will cause a misread at your monitor panel inside. Right. So basically just plug into the water hose into there, open up your black valve, turn on the water, and just flushes out that tank to help get rid of any sort of debris. Below there's also a little light down here, so it's just on its own switch there. And off to the side here, you get an outside shower. So it is on the standard head and hose, 3-foot hose, hot and cold water, simple as that. Close that down, and straight ahead from there, you got your gasoline connection. So simple, fill it up, right? Ahead from there up top here, you get a cable and satellite inlet. It's just a coax cable, plug into there, fire up at your TV location. Down from there, you got your power inlet. So basically, you pop that on open. Down in the bottom corner here, you're going to find that little notch. It's going to line up with this one here. You're just going to line those up and press it into place. Give it a little eighth turn, and that locks it down. Then you get the threaded collar in the back there to really lock it down. Following the cord back, you're going to find a standard 30 amp end here. Most campsites are going to have that. You can just plug straight on in, and you're good to go. And as we showed you, that 15 amp adapter would just plug into there. So if you're looking to plug in at home to charge your batteries or run your fridge, you've got the power to do so. Ahead from there is just a little empty storage compartment. And another one right here. This is another compartment up above it. So this is just in your slide out. It is right underneath your couch. So as you can see, you do have the seat belts kind of run through it as well. And this compartment right here is just housing your generator. So this guy's controls for turning it on are inside of the unit. You do also have another set right here though, so you can just open it up, pop that on open, then you can see you got that control just right there. So once we get inside, I'll go over that a bit more. The two switches work pretty much the exact same. This here is just the exhaust for it, so of course if you're ever running that generator, you just want to make sure it's not blocked off. That guy there is just a little kind of rear view camera, so kind of side sensing and all that. On the front of the unit, to the other side. And then we do, of course, your entry door, so we'll go into there in a little minute here. G-Fire protected outlets, resets just inside of the unit. Right beside that, we've got your hot water tank. So you just get that keyway there, you're going to line that up and you can pop it on open. All of your controls for turning it on are just inside of the unit. Before we ever turn it on though, we just want to hit this relief valve right there, make sure that shot of water comes out. A little bit of water coming out is just letting you know this tank is full, it's safe to fire it up, and you're not going to burn anything out by doing so. Closing it back down, you're just locking it down with the keyway again. Down below that, again, just another storage compartment. Beside that is your propane compartment. So as you open that up, you're going to find your propane tank here. So basically you just got your gauge on the left there. Those two things up top are just for filling, so nothing there for you to worry about really. And then your valve right here, so that is labeled. You're just going to turn it counterclockwise to open it. And you'll notice this compartment does not lock, so that's kind of just like a safety thing. You don't want to be able to, not have access to that. Up above that, if you open this up, you get that little finger on the side there again. And you get access to the TV. The remote's just inside, we'll show you that in a couple minutes here. Behind that we got your furnace. So if you're ever running a furnace, you just want to make sure this isn't blocked off here. It does get hot. Another storage compartment. In the back there, you also have your water pump access. So if you're looking to winterize the unit yourself, you just open this up right here. And there it is. You do have the valve right there. You just flip that on up and it'll draw out of this hose. Attach your, send that hose into your jug of antifreeze. Pump it on through the system. This valve right here is also going to be a freshwater tank drain. So once you're ready to drain out that tank, you're just going to pop that on open. And then as you can see underneath here, it just drains out the water tank. So I'm just going to let that go. And then in the back here, we get that the other end of that rear storage compartment. So up inside here, you do have the same sort of light. And throughout your storage compartments, you're going to see these little plugs here. So basically, you can just unthread those, and if you do manage to get water in here somehow, you can just open them up and you can drain them all out. All right. And then to the back of the unit, you do get provided with a ladder here. So if you're looking to get up top, check your seals, you've got the power to do so. Right in the center there, you're just going to notice that little camera there. So that's your rear view camera, of course. And then straight down there, you're going to see the hitch. So it is all pre-wired. So if you're looking to tow your boat with you, you got the power to do so. Propane quick connect back here as well. So if you did have a barbecue or something that you could carry out, you're just going to connect onto here with a quick connect hose. The only thing I'm really going to go over back here is just the fact that it's got that valve there. So to connect your hose, you've got to have that closed off so you can pull that collar back. If you have that valve opened up, you cannot, so it's just kind of an added safety. And then of course, whenever you're traveling, you just want to make sure that plugs in there. So now we'll make our way inside of the unit here. Open up the door. And it is just on a gas strut, so it holds itself at 90 degrees. And as you step inside, first things first, we've got your fire extinguisher there, so that's standard, pull the pin, point and shoot. This bottom step here, if you pull up this latch, gives you access to your batteries, so those are all hooked up and set up and ready to go. Up above that, there we go. So right up in here is just a little lockbox, so if you got anything precious that you want to hide and lock away, right in there. Battery disconnect switch right here, so you can see pointed up, that's it, all turned on. And off to the left there is it turned off, so you can see that light there turned off with it, so that is just tied right into the 12-volt system. You do have to have it on whenever you're using the unit. You're going to find a couple of these lights throughout the unit. They are just motion sensing, so they will turn themselves on and off just with motion. Beside that is your awning switch here. So as you press and hold extend, your awning will make its way out. Once your awning's fully extended, you're going to see a little black flap come down, as well as the black of the metal tube. Once we see that, we're going to stop. If we were to continue extending, it can actually wind itself up backwards, in which case the fabric will then be underneath the tube, allowing it to then hold water, accelerating the growth of mold and mildew. So there's our flap there, and there's the tube, so we'll stop right there. Now if it were to start raining, it's going to be holding some water anyway, so what you can do is grab either arm, front or rear. You're just going to pull down on it. Then you can see that changes the pitch of the awning out at the head, allowing water to then run off. Now if you like that angle better, because it does give you more shade, you can do the same thing with the arm up front. Before we bring them back in though, we just want to make sure these arms are back out straight and fully extended, just so that we're not running the risk of bending anything. We'll come back inside and we'll press and hold the tract. That awning will make its way back in. And again, we're just watching to make sure that our fabric is over top of the tube. And the last thing to keep in mind with your awning is once you get up to about 15-20 kilometers an hour wind, it is catching a lot of that wind, so you just want to make sure it comes back in again so that you're not running the risk of bending your arms. And once that's closed, the electric motors will just lock up and hold it tight against the side of the unit. As simple as that. Two light switches there off to the side. So the one on the right, I believe, does your awning light. The one on the left does a little porch light. This little compartment here is housing your little garbage bin, so you do have the chute right above there as well. Right beside the chute, you do have that little charging pad. So basically, you just take your phone, plop it down onto there, and starts charging. This little countertop extension, you just pop that on up, and then you get the stands underneath it to lock it into place. Another one over there. Once you're done, just kind of lift it up, bring those stands back down, lay it back down into place. Below that, you're going to find your solar charge controller. So basically, you just hit kind of left and right. You can get through all your settings. It is pretty well set up already. Okay. and pretty straightforward, just a monitor really. Below that we've got your equalizer. Before we use that though, I think we'll come up and we'll do your lights up here. So we got your whole control panel right here, so that driver's side rear light in the bottom corner there does the light in the back corner kind of by your plug-in there, so you can just see what you're doing there. Up above that you got your kitchen lights, so that does those rear two. And then living room does our front one. And now we can kind of see what we're doing. So now we'll go down and actually just note that real quick. So leveling jacks require the engine to be off and parking brake disengaged. So I've got the parking brake engaged right now, so I'll just pull that back. And that's just going to be on the left side of the steering wheel there, right underneath the dash. Alright. So now we can hit power. And pretty straightforward. I mean, really all you're going to be using really is your auto level. And that's just automatically going to bring down all of our stabilizers, level the unit automatically. While it's doing that, you're just going to want to be either out of the unit or just very still. You don't want to be kind of changing the suspension or moving the unit around at all. Just trying that again. Alright, so we'll take a look into that real quick here. But for now, we'll just continue on with the walkthrough here. So we'll go through the rest of the switch out, set them through the rest of your switches here. So slide out rooms, that's where we got to have the vehicle running and the parking brake set. So turn that all on. Set the parking brake. Alright, so this is apparently labeled wrong. Looks like your parking brake needs to be engaged for that to work. With the ignition off, alright? We'll get that sorted out for you. Sorry that it didn't already. Right? So for your slide outs, you're going to press and hold out. And then this living room slide will make its way out here. Once it's out all the way, you'll just hear a couple of whines and they stop automatically, just like that. Up above that, we got your water heater controls. So electricity, turn it on with electricity, just switch that switch on, turns it on with electricity. For gas there, you just turn that switch on, it'll fire up with propane. If you ever get that little check light there, it's just letting you know it hasn't fired up, so at that point, just off and back on to reset it. So stood right here, you can hear the click of the igniter and the whir of the flame, we know it's good. Water pump switches beside that, turn that on, turns on your water pump, drawing out of your fresh tank to pressurize your lines. Then we got your Arctic Pass system here, so that basically just heated tanks. Turns on a little electric pad that's stuck onto the bottom of your tanks just to help keep them from freezing. Monitor system up top here, so you get your liquid propane gas in the bottom there, so you can see you're currently full, and then 2/3 and a third as you empty it out. For your battery, you can see you're currently C for charging, so because we're plugged in, we're currently charging. G would be good, F is fair, L is low. Your fresh tank, as you fill that up, you go to 1/3, 2/3 and full. Same idea for your black and your gray. Generator control off to the side there. So similar to the switch that you had outside, you have a stop and prime side. You're just going to press and hold that until the little generator light there comes on. And then you can press and hold start, and that'll turn it over. And then you can see she fires right up. Once you're done, you're just going to press stop, and that shuts it off. Your stereo here, so the power button there is just going to turn it on. And then fairly straightforward, you've got your speaker sets A, which is going to be your inside set of speakers, speaker set B, which is your front set, sorry, A was your rear set, B is your front set, C is your outside set. Pair will connect it to your phone, and then kind of this guy here on the left there just goes through all of your modes. Pause and play, and then your seeks as well as your volume control on the side, the power button, turn it back off. Right up top, you're going to find a couple of inlets. So that HDMI inlet right there is actually connected to the stereo, so you can kind of get your surround sound. And then right up above it, you're going to find your cable and satellite outlet. And then in the back, there's just a power outlet. Right on the side here, you've got your antenna outlet. So for turning that antenna on, there's just a little button right beside it. It turns on that little green light there, just letting you know that guy is turned on. It will also help clear up a stereo signal if you're in a poor service site. Right? Out from there, you're going to find kind of your router for your Wi-Fi system. Storage across the front here, kind of either side of the TV. The TV itself is on a mount, so you can pull it up off the wall and just kind of swing it around. Not the biggest of mounts, but you do have some movement with it. It is a 12-volt TV, so you do have that 12-volt line for it and a fuse right there, so if it ever cuts out, you just want to check that first. Now the truck itself is pretty straightforward. If you've ever driven a Ford before, it should be pretty familiar. The stereo there is really straightforward, all touchscreen. Right, nothing really fancy up there at all. Then your dinettes here, so you get kind of your storage across the top. All of your latches and all of your drawers are the anti-slams, so they just kind of close themselves. Skylight up here, open up and close that. Your fire alarm. And like I said earlier, you do have the seat belts up here, so you can occupy this for travel. Once you're set up for camping, if you take the tabletop here and kind of unscrew this guy here, you can take the table off the top. That leg will swing or kind of pull out of its base down there. And then you have kind of all the ledges here for the dinette to then sit onto. You'll take a couple of the back cushions to fill in the table and create a bedding area here. You also have the storage down below on either side. Storage into the kitchen here as well. Power outlet here. More storage up top. In here you're going to find that binder, so that's got all of your owner's manuals, any keys, any remotes, anything like that for the unit, you'll find right in there. Above the sink there is a couple of light switches here, so the one on the left does this light over here, the one on the right does your stove lights. The sink cover is made of the same material as your counter, so you can put something heavy on there or hard on there. Hot and cold water at the sink, and this guy does kind of pull out of there just off to the side. And then it is this kind of weird rubber hose with the shower head feature. Hot and cold water, of course. Storage down below it, just be mindful of our drains and our water lines, don't want to be breaking that. And more storage above. Your stove, you're just going to flip that cover back, turn on the light switch, then you can turn it up to high, and it just fires right up. I will just mention that the first time you go to use your propane system, especially if you've been away from the unit for a while, it can take a minute to fire everything up just because you've got to clear all the air to the propane lines. It's perfectly normal. And the reason I say to turn the knobs on first is because that's what activates the igniter, so if we just turn that on, you can see it doesn't do anything. Right, turn that on, then you get the igniter. Okay. Down below that you got a convection microwave, which just opens up on the side there. It is pretty well straightforward, works just like a microwave at home. Otherwise you do have the convection feature, so you can kind of cook in there as well. Down below that's more storage. If you're looking to access your water heater for winterization once it comes time, you got 4 screws in this panel there. You can pop that out of the way and get access to all those valves. 12-volt fridge here, so as long as you're plugged in and your batteries are charged or charging, this guy's going for you. Temp control's right across the back there. Fridge down below, temp control right at the top. Then this pantry right here, so you're just going to swing this open, and then we can slide that latch out of the way and open it on up, and you get all that storage there. Down below that, you're going to find this little black box there. So that's your LP detector. Propane's heavier than air. It sits on the floor. That guy detects it and starts going off just like a smoke detector would. And And then for this slide here, you got that switch just kind of right in the back here. We just press and hold out, and the slide makes its way out. Whoops. Press and hold out. So this is the same slide. Once it's out all the way, it'll just stop automatically after a couple of winds from the motors. And then while that's going out, we'll just show you real quick. You got this kind of wedged mattress, right? So as it slides in, it kind of sits on top of each other. And then as it opens up, you're just sliding it back into place. And once it is fully open, they kind of line up. And there we go. Light switches beside it. So one on the right does kind of this hallway light, and the one on the left does pantry lights. Up above that, you got your thermostat here. Just press mode and you wake it up. Start it from off, and then it comes into fan. So fan on with the 2 bars there is your fan on high. Hit fan down here and you can turn it into fan low. Hit mode again, it comes up into your cooling. So this is where it'll turn on the air compressor. You can still select your fans. In auto, it'll run the high fan until it gets close enough to its target temperature. Then it'll switch to the low fan automatically. And then you can just choose it yourself, of course. So you can go fan on high, fan on low, and then auto again, of course. So with your air conditioner running, you basically got 2 different options. You got this louver here that you can leave closed, in which case we're using all of our ducting to move the air. Or you can open it up and it just dumps all of its air into the living room. So when you first get out to your site, you want that opened up, cool off this area as quickly as possible, and then you can close it off and start moving the air throughout. And we'll hit mode again after cool, come into furnace, and that'll turn off the air conditioner and turn on the furnace. So the first couple of times you run the furnace, it may put off a bit of a smell. It's just the new furnace smell, and it will go away. The furnace will be moving its air through all these little black portals that you're going to see throughout the unit, just up on the walls. Temp control is just on the side there, so whenever you're in cooling or you're heating, you're just going to hit that up and down to select your temperature. Simple as that. After furnace, if we hit mode again, it comes down into off and then just kind of cycles back around. Up from there, you're going to find this TV here. This side is on a mount, so if you just wanted to wiggle it up, you can get it out of place. It does not swing out though. Power outlet for whatever here. At the head of the bed, you do get the storage up the top in either side. Identical storage over there. These lights here, they have that kind of little silver dime looking thing. You're just going to tap that, it turns on. Tap it again, it turns on the light. USB outlet on the side of it as well. Same light over there. The red handles signify an emergency exit, so you just pull those handles towards you and the window swings out. Sliding door here, you're going to push that little pocket down, unlatches it at the top, and then you can just slide the door. It does latch both open and closed, so you just got to make sure that you pull that latch down before you run it either way. Into the bathroom here, you get light switches on the side there. So the one on the left turns on your fan, the one on the right turns on the lights. Your fan is just for the roof vent here, so you're just going to turn that knob to open it up. You do have the roof vents kind of throughout the unit. Then your shower here's the travel latch. You're just going to get that out of the way and you can open it up. You do get the nicer shower head with hot and cold water, of course, and the stainless hose. Medicine cabinet here, so it does kind of have these chamfered cuts on the bottom there, so you do kind of have the handles. And then in the sink here, same sort of hard material for the cover, hot and cold water of course, and then the mobile head. GFI protected outlet, so test on the left, reset on the right, so if you ever have outlets that don't work, it's the first thing you should check. A little bit of storage down below it, as well as below the sink. Again, just mindful of our drains and water lines. And the big compartment there, right? It is on its own automatic sort of light there, right? More space, all the drawers. So there's another one of those motion sensing lights I was talking about earlier. And then right behind me we got your toilet, so that just flips on up. And then you get the flusher on the right side here. So the last thing I want to show you is going to be your fantastic fan. So pretty straightforward, excellent little fans there. So you got the locking latch there, so with it up, that's it locked. You're going to pull it down, then you can turn it to open it up. And And it does have a cover installed already, so if it's pouring rain, you can still hold the sky open and get some fresh air in. In the back corner here, you get that fan. So press it once, turns on speed 1, 2 for 2, 3 for 3, 4 for 4. Hit it again after 4, it'll come down into speed 1, just cycles back around, turn it off, press off there. For closing it, you're just going to turn that knob back down. Once you have it closed tight, we'll just lock that knob down again by pressing it up. And that is about it. Sorry, converter, last thing, I promise. Okay. Press the top and center and then she pops on open. Get all of your breakers on the left side there. Whenever a breaker breaks, it's going to sit in the center, so just turn it off and then back on to reset it. Then underneath there you get all of your fuses. Okay. Now that is it for this unit. If you've got any other questions on it, please feel free to give us a call, 204-237-7272.